Oh, really?
Table 1 and 2. Table 1, I don't know what happened to table 2.
Okay.
Okay,
So table 1 and potentially 2 drew. So
Table 2 did draw. Table 1
so Hunter is actually probably playing for ninth.
So
And he's up again.
he's up a game. He's a Cincinnati local.
Okay.
I've seen him at some of these Cincinnati shops and qualifiers.
Looks
For
like
being so young, he's still in high school.
really.
He's quite good.
Okay.
Quite impressed with his play.
So it looks like Hunter is on the receiving end of a Golgari beatdown. Looks like similar to Brian Kibler's deck.
I would imagine there's a lot of similarities.
And he is a 1-creature Esper control deck with 4 unaffiliated round yards.
Okay.
Lone Revenant.
Yeah, his deck name is the Forever Alone Revenant.
2 Terminus, 4 Supreme Verdict, 4 Sphinx's Revelation. Ultimate price for removal, Azorius Charm. 3 Jace, Architect of Thought. Like that's something that I can start. I think Jace, Architect of Thought's gonna catch on a little bit more in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's a way to preempt.
Yeah.
The memory depths.
And in Control Mirrors, it comes down before they can realistically punish you for tapping out with an ultimatum.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sphinx's Revelation.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Cruel Ultimatum, Sphinx's Revelation, whatever.
It looks like there's some discussion going on, or at least some hand gestures from Eric. Over here. Yeah.
Attack.
Looks like Eric's trying to attack, and Hunter's not letting him.
No, you're not allowed to kill me with
No. Nuh-uh. Maybe some confusion over the Dakota attacker step. I see Hunter has 2 Feeling of Dreads in his hand.
this. Yeah. Probably confusion over beginning of combat.
Yeah. So, Hunter's quite the pickle here. He has only 5 life if our life total is up to date.
Yep.
I believe it is. And it's facing around this Deathrite Shaman with plenty of instants.
Action.
Alright, so we have a judge call coming up. So we'll
Yeah,
talk about,
let's talk about these decks.
Okay, so look at Eric Fry. We have not seen this deck today.
No, we have
a
not.
deck I kind of like, but I would never play in a million years.
Yeah.
It's the Brian Kibble inspired green-black beatdown deck.
Yeah.
It has like Arbor Elves and the String Root guys. Brian Kibler's like new Daybreak Ranger-ish card. He loves Ulanval Tracker.
I think the card's sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with him. I just
Yeah.
don't like the types of decks it goes in. He has the big card in this deck is Predator Ooze.
Card's very good.
Yeah, the card's very good. It unfortunately
Well, it's very good or very bad, your choice, depending on what happens.
It requires a dedicated commitment
To green.
To green.
Yes.
Which this deck has. The block cards in this deck are some removal spells in the form of like Tragic Slip, Ultimate Price, and then also has the good Golgari creatures, Lolith Troll and Dregnangler.
Right.
Both are just very good cards. Yeah.
Let's see. Eric has opted for 2 Evolving Wilds over Golgari Guildgates.
Okay.
Which is
he
interesting.
still has a Golgari Guildgate.
Right. But the split is interesting to me. It seems almost like the Guildgate should be the better card.
The Guildgate is generally the better card, but you have Deathrite Shaman.
Oh, and you have Arbor Elf.
Okay.
So okay.
You have like multiple reasons to take the quote-unquote worse.
Yeah.
Option.
Because the Guildgate always taps for both. You have to choose with the Wilds, but the Wilds also does a few things that the Guildgate does.
Arbor Elf and
Evolving Wilds also lets Woodland Cemetery come into play untapped.
Yes.
Interesting.
The more I think about it, there's a lot of arguments for
and
Wilds.
Everyone's all about Rakdos Guildgate in the black-red decks.
Mm-hmm.
There,
people that are willing to play that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. There, maybe you need the guild gates because of Dross Messenger into a red card or something.
And to Hellrider.
Yeah, like that doesn't work with an
You also
Evolving
don't have
Wilds.
a reason to not want them other than your Dragon Spell summits.
Though this deck also has like Lotless Troll, you can't go Lotless Troll and Predator Boost
Right.
without Evolving Wilds.
Correct.
So that's actually a really interesting discussion.
Yeah. And honestly, without like playing or whatever, I think I would play the deck and just like every time one screwed me with the other one would have been good, I'd switch them.
Yeah, you can't go Strangleroot Geist into Dragmangler off an Evolving Wilds. Unless you
Yeah,
play
you
it
can.
on one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You go Evolving Wilds, get a forest,
You're right.
then play your cemetery or 2 on 3.
Yeah, I was thinking of other ways, but yeah, you're right. So Hunter's deck, just a lot of 4s for a control deck. You got Think Twice, Supreme Verdict, Azorius Charm, 3 Detention Sphere, 3 Dissipate, 2 Terminus, 2 Ultimate Price, then a few finishers. He has a main deck Memory Adept.
Okay.
He has 4 Jaces in his main
4
deck.
Jaces
3
with
little, 1 big. A Tameo, the Lone Revenant, 7, 11, 14, 19, 27 lands, I believe.
It's a good
28.
healthy amount of lands.
Enough. Yeah, 28 it looks like. 27, a lot.
Yeah, I can get behind. Hunter's deck. I think it's a little soft to the
Yeah, 28 lands.
The
A Ghost
beatdown
Order?
decks.
I don't even know about that.
Like-
6 Ras, Azorius Charm, and Ultimate Price.
I feel like this deck very much struggles against, say, Dross Messenger
Yes,
or
it is.
Falcon Wrath Aristocrat.
Oh, which beatdown decks are we talking about is the question.
the good ones.
The good one.
Yeah.
The one good beatdown deck.
Right, the one with the resilient threats.
Yes.
Uh,
That's probably very true. He boards up to 4 Terminus in
Mhm.
Feeling of Dread, so I assume that's a concession to that.
yeah. I do like the Tribute to Hunger. If you're trying to kill all the things your opponent has, Tribute to Hunger gets a lot better.
Yeah, and I think this deck needs the life gain.
Yeah.
On top of Revelation, you see like a little bit more.
I would have liked to see like a dedicated like spot removal with Snapcasters, just to rebuy.
I don't even know.
Really-
I don't know if you have room for Snapcasters in this deck.
It's entirely possible
Like,
when
you'd
you
have to
play
have-
so many lands. and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Well, the thing is also you'd have to have room for like
Thought Scour.
Yeah, something to do with the
Yeah, you'd
Snapcaster.
definitely be like cutting some
cards that do things.
cutting some lands.
Lands and think twice.
Mhm.
Okay,
Alright,
back
looks
to
like
the
we're back.
game. Looks like Feeling of Dread was cast beginning of combat. And nope, it wasn't cast. Okay.
We're not cast.
The game ended.
The
Hunter
game
did
ended.
not win that
I'm
game.
gonna guess that Eric was victorious in that one.
I agree.
All right, so we see both players, these players have 22 minutes. remaining,
Yes.
so that's plenty of time for game 3.
Agree.
The normal round clock is significantly lower. It's at 10 or 12 minutes. But since they're often in a feature match, they get to they might have to wait for
Yeah,
or
some time.
The feature matches are on their own time
Yes.
in the open series, so that's one thing. You always have that's part of what the table judge is there to do is just
Stopwatch.
Yeah, it has a stopwatch.
Most of what they're there to do. Well, not really most.
Yeah.
I guess it's that, hand out tokens,
Yeah,
report life totals,
right.
not watch you play.
Right, they're not there to make sure you don't screw up. That's for sure.
Yes.
You're on your own for when you screw up.
So
But if we go to sideboarding, these players have already sideboarded for the most part. But the types of cards that we saw, Eric, he definitely wanted his Deathrite Shamans.
right.
I would imagine you also want Duress.
Do you actually want Deathrite Shaman though? I'm not actually sure. I guess he doesn't know Hunter's list,
Right.
but all it does is it takes out Think Twice and Feeling of Dread. Otherwise, it's just a 1-mana 1/2 that has a one
Yeah.
per turn you can pump it.
I mean, that might be better than I don't know what he has to take out, but
could be better than Ultimate
first
Price's
sight,
Magic Slip.
Yeah, he has those. The side out. They're also probably
Backwards.
better than Ulam Tracker.
Sure, but looking at a sideboard, I see 6 cards that I like better than.
Right, you want Garruk Relentless.
Seems better.
Yeah.
And I want
That
the
would
rest.
go up to 4 Garruk Relentless. So
Oh, okay, never mind then. I probably only want one of those. 4 seems excessive against a control deck that it doesn't look like has much interaction with it. It's Detention Sphere, but I don't think you really want 4 Garuk.
Right.
3 sounds right. And 4 Duress, and then 2 Deathrite.
So yeah, it might be one of those things where he's not bringing in all 4 Deathrite Shamans. Deathrite, like the full 4, might be something that he wants only against the dedicated Reanimator decks or the dedicated Flash decks.
Is that against the decks where they use their graveyard?
Yeah,
as opposed to
have some random interactions with it.
yes. Let's see. Chris Cronenberger playing for Top 32,
Okay.
Ohio local.
Yep.
Ryan Gearhart, Star City Games Detroit champion. Was that him or his brother that won? One of the two, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. So we're live, and apparently the Ulenval trackers are still in the deck because one was cast on turn 1 and joined by its friend Strangerroot Geist on turn 2.
Hunter down to 17 life, presumably.
There's another feature of Brian Kibler's beatdown decks. They're not all particularly fast.
Sure.
They're not gonna, blow you out of the water. They're just gonna present some threats that you're gonna have a very difficult time dealing with.
Right. Though Predator Ooze Rancor kills very fast. So Duress is going to take the Supreme Verdict.
Okay.
Leaving Hunter with Drown Yard, Drown Catacombs, Azorius Charm, Sphinx's Revelation, and Terminus.
Yeah.
Worth noting, this is one of the issues with these off-color mana bases, as we can call them now, with the only one dual land, is that their lands often just come into play tap ball game.
Right, because Hunter only has 4 Hallowed Fountains and a few basics.
Yeah.
It's a good amount of basics. He's playing 27 lands, or 28 lands. He has 7 basics and an Evolving Wilds.
But he has 11 of these coming to play tap.
Right.
So it looks like teams getting in there, Azorius Charm getting used. Good time to use it, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if Hunter wants, he can use his Drown Yard to mill Eric.
Oh, the
it's
Mondo
not quite.
combo?
It's not quite the Thought Scour combo, but
he does it though.
That's what he's doing. Like, it makes a lot more sense when Eric has seen Hunter's hand and Hunter knows that, and basically both players knows that Hunter doesn't have anything else to do.
Fair. Looks like Eric has an Arbor Elf and a Predator Ooze to follow up, but that's not that good against Hunter's hand.
Correct. No Predators.
Magic players, if you are done with
Just
your
opting to
match,
pass, I guess.
believe you have made the top
That still comes into play tapped.
Yep.
Wolfear Avenger. Much better.
That Drown Yard should, or the Drown Catacomb should be.
The Drown Catacomb should be tapped if we can relay that.
Please come up.
If it matters, we can.
It should matter, because the Sphinx's Revelation 2 is a much bigger deal.
Yeah. The Drown Catacomb should be tapped.
I think they're working on it right now.
It looks like, looks like they got it. We're good.
Okay. Cool.
So, this Strangerroot Geist is on the stack. I believe Hunter's deciding how he wants to handle this. I believe he just lets it fly.
Yeah. Azorius Charm. Maybe even.
No, I wouldn't Azorius Charm because he has a Terminus in his hand.
I don't know if he has another land. I
believe I saw a Plains.
Oh.
If he doesn't have a land, I might. I don't think I would Azorius Charm anything, because you would Azorius Charm something very difficult to. Yeah, there's a Plains. Okay, so you just probably just hold the charm. Don't do anything with it. Just take your damage. Untap Terminus.
Yeah. Sweep the board. Actually sweep because the Strangerroot goes away.
Right. And putting on the bottom much better than destroying them in this. All right. Looks like we have another
Judge ruling.
Going on.
Something
here.
interesting about the situation. So normally, most people would think, "Oh, I want to stack my guys on top of each other in like this exact order, so that I want the best 2 on top." But I think there, especially against that deck, you want to split the 2 good creatures, the Wolfear and the Strangerroot Geist, with the Geist on bottom and the Wolfear, the top card, with the 2 mana guys in between, because the Drown Yard.
Okay.
It's really marginal. But
Yeah,
I was just like thinking about
clearly.
like very marginal.
Stacking the bottom of your deck is
yeah,
definitely
but
marginal.
if they're killing you with mill, if
Yeah.
your last card is a haste creature, pretty powerful in comparison. And if another card ends up on the bottom, you want to draw one of the two. Like if they know where things are because they've been tracking, they'll know that they want to mill those two good ones and you'll draw mana elves instead of that, and you want to split them so that they're not within one Drown Yard activation.
Yeah. And that's a good point.
Very,
a lot of
very
times,
marginal.
Yeah, and a lot of times what happens, like when you're getting milled out, the last like 5 cards are milled out. Like during my end step, I mill 3, and I untap and mill the last 3. But
Fair.
sometimes the numbers don't always work out that way. But yeah, I mean,
Like there could be another terminus that makes that work.
Right.
So, worth thinking about.
Yeah, and also very rarely do you get milled out and it's a close game. Like
Sure.
you don't get when somebody kills you with a Nephalia Drown Yard, they generally have like just complete control.
Yeah, like
of the
30
game.
life and 7 cards in hand.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have plenty of capability of just like stopping whatever you do. But like I could see it coming up like once in every 200 games you got milled or whatever.
Yeah, 200 games that actually end with mill. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know. It's
like-
probably more than that. It's probably like once every like 50, 40.
Yeah, you could go you could play nothing but Drown Yard decks and it never come up.
You
but
could play the entire format, just never have it matter.
Yeah, but like I think correct play is correct play.
Yeah,
So as long as you don't spend like too much energy on it,
agree.
yeah, you don't like go into the tank, figure out what order you want your creatures in.
Yeah, I know a lot of people used to play like the Star Wars CCG, and that had a lot to do
Yeah.
with like cards ended up on the bottom, and like by the like 5th turn, you knew the entire
The
order
of your deck, yeah, and that was important
Yeah.
because you would draw random
Because
cards
like
off
yeah,
the
every
top of your
turn
deck.
you'd clash every turn
Yeah.
too. Yeah, and like that was just a disaster. But like little things that happen every so often. You were talking about earlier in the blue-white red deck, ordering your cards and knowing where your pike is in the late game.
and with Augur Bolus.
Yeah,
And I think that comes up a reasonable amount simply
Yeah.
because you're doing it to yourself.
yeah, and your deck draws a lot of itself most
Yes.
games. So yeah, like you trigger Augur 4 times, you know where your pike is. Maybe you can Thought Scour to it a turn
It's
earlier,
part of the
or
reason,
not
like,
Thought Scour into it.
Yeah, players like Todd Anderson were by the middle of the turn they're thought scouring their opponents because they knew they needed literally every single card in their deck.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
sometimes that's not enough. We saw that earlier.
Right. But I mean, Todd was like, yeah, my deck kind of doesn't have enough power in it. And like I felt the same way with my Flash deck. It's
Wow.
like, yeah, just really lacking in power here.
Huh.
Like we have like these, ways to play the game, but not ways to close.
Yeah. Jace Memory Adept.
Yeah.
It's the way
I
of the
think
future.
like Runecatcher's Pike is like a way to do
Sure.
it. You just have to play more than one copy of it.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Like one Jace Memory Adapt means you're probably not going to Thought Scour yourself. Because if you mill it, you can't win.
Sure. Could also splash Drown Yard.
Yeah, I mean...
Then you
it's-
lose Merlin Halt, which is an issue.
Right.
Which is a better card for you.
You lose like, you get worse mana and there's a whole... You can't...
Yeah. You don't have Farseek, so it's not free.
Right.